president of the Chamber of Commerce for down in Benley area. That's the right one, isn't it?
That's the one, yep.
I just get confused with having a few out there who I'm talking to and sometimes forget who I am. But what we've got today, really awesome opportunity. Having chats with Kerrie over the last few months. Look, I just love her enthusiasm for business. I love her approach to how she goes about it and how passionate she is about networking with small business owners. So, Kerrie, just tell us a little bit more about your background. Now, you run Altitude
Business Solutions.
That's it. I was trying to read on the back of your screen there. It was really little for me. All I knew was Altitude. But Altitude Business Solutions, tell me more about Altitude.
Look, we're in the business of helping small businesses introduce systems and processes in the technology space. So we also have some online courses that we're currently moving into this year as well, which is really exciting. So yeah, it's been great.
And that's fantastic. And as I said, you do give a lot back to the community in terms of the Chamber of Commerce and everything else. What brought you to both? Well, first let's go into taking on a role of president of the local Chamber of Commerce. That's not a 2-minute a month job.
No, no, and I'm sure that there's probably a few Chamber of Commerce presidents out there watching who would totally agree with me. It does take up a lot of your time, but I think, somebody once said to me that you are, the top 5 people that you spend your time with. And certainly when you're involved with something like a Chamber of Commerce, you get to meet a lot of quality people, you get to learn a lot. And, it's particularly our committee over the last 12 months or so since I've had my own business have been a fantastic support to me. So, loving to surround myself with people like that and learning on a daily basis. It's fantastic. So.
Excellent. Now with Altitude being, well, at the moment it's completely online. I know that you were running live workshops as well as your online stuff. It is largely around the digital space and how people can use different online tools. But how did you get into that?
Oh, look, it was just something that I fell into, really. I helped a business out, and they were like, oh, this has just been so fantastic. You've been so great at showing me. You made it very clear and it was very quick. You should do this as a business. So that's really sort of where the idea started, and it just went from there. And very, very thankful to be part of the ASBAS program as well, the Australian Small Business Advisory Services, which has given me a platform to really get out there over the last 12 months. So it's been great.
Yeah, fantastic. So, with the online programs that you've got, helping people, you said you've got a digital marketing, a more global, holistic. Here's a digital marketing program, and you do have our top-rated post of the month. So you're obviously doing the right thing. While we're there, while you're talking about that, you actually said, "Hey, I really want to support small business. Put your business in here, and I'll like your business."
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many people saw that post?
Look, the last time, I have no idea how many people saw it. The last time I looked, it had about 1,300 comments on it, which is pretty impressive.
Okay, so it's got 1,300 comments. Now, the second most commented on post was one of mine, and that's quite natural. I had 110.
Yes.
And you've got 1,300. I keep telling people I don't know Facebook, and this is proving it. So awesome. Thank you very much.
Look, I think, and I'm not an expert at Facebook either, but I do have a little bit of an idea of what's worked for me over the last couple of years, and probably being, making sure that your posts are coming from a place of being genuine. And actually that post was all about just helping people. Yeah. For me, I was sitting there, I think it was a Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, and I was thinking, gee, there's so many people in uncertainty world at the moment with their businesses. They're all online, they're looking at social media, and they just want to know that someone's out there to support them in some way. But I think, obviously, being the type of person that I am, it's been really interesting what I've learnt from doing that post as well.
We'll talk about that in a second. Over 6,000 of our members have seen that post.
Wow, there you
go. So we've got 8,500 members, roughly 6,000. So basically, 75% of our members have seen your post.
Wow.
We've had 1,300 have actually taken action and put a comment in there. So, you know, roughly 1 in 5 people are putting a comment in. And that's really unprecedented volume of you know, eyeballs to comments, right?
Yes.
So it's we've only had 167 reactions, which we've got 1,300 people have written something in, but only 100. And normally those two stats are the opposite way around, you know. So so you know, obviously struck a chord. And I've got to be honest with you. Normally, I don't like the "hey, I'll like your page" things, because you don't know if people who are liking the page are then an ideal client. And so in normal circumstances, we wouldn't have allowed the post to go through, and not because we're being grumpy or anything like that, but there's no real value in me liking your page and you liking my page if we're not each other's ideal client.
No, I totally agree, and I do agree with you, absolutely. But it's like when you go to any networking event, you don't know when you walk into that particular event that everybody at the event is your ideal client. You know, you have to find your ideal client. And I think in the case of this post, it was probably a great example of where a lot of people who commented on the post probably haven't then gone that next step to find out, okay, well, these people have just, you know, this person has just liked my page, or these people have just liked my page, but I haven't really tried to find out whether they're my ideal client or not yet. And that's,
so let's talk a little bit about the learnings that you had, for, you know, the stuff that you learned from that. The learnings. It sounds very coachy or something. Anyway,
so I did learn that, you know, you can only like a certain amount of Facebook pages per day. So then that, you know, cuts you off and it doesn't want you to like anymore.
Have you got close to working out what that number is?
No, I need to, when I go through tonight and I do it, I'll actually count, because I sort of just kept liking.
I would love to know. I'm suspecting it's between 30 and 50, but I don't. I don't have stats either, so
no. Look, it was certainly.
Let's all learn together.
Yeah, and then because I was concerned, or not concerned, but I thought people would be commenting and then saying, "Hey, she hasn't even liked my page. What's going on?" But I've literally gone in every single night and liked as many as I can. I'm getting through that whole list. When you've got 1,300, it obviously takes a while to get through.
So if you're one of the 1,000 that Kerrie hasn't liked, she's still doing it.
I'm still getting there. I'm still getting there. You never lose hope. I'm still there. But, you know, probably for me, it was interesting to see how a lot of other people interacted with that post as well. So there was a few sort of standouts for me. I know Jared Farrow from Ink City, when you go onto that post, you'll actually see not only did he go and say, yes, I've liked it, but he also put, you know, liked by Ink City. So I think he was getting, when I was talking to him last night, he was getting a lot of people who were then liking his page because he was commenting like that, which was really great. So there was a few standout people who were starting the process right. But I think what I wanted to get across to everybody who's watching today is when somebody then likes your page, what do you do? Like, you know, what do you do with that person? How do you interact with them? Do you interact with them? And I can tell you, I've been going in for the last 5 days, pretty much every day, liking as many pages as I can, and I'm yet to have an interaction. I'm yet to have somebody contact me and say, hey, thanks for liking my page. This is great. What do you do? Is there any chance that we can work together? Do we have some clients? Obviously, I'm a business. So that's, you know, my business was in the post as well. And I think that if businesses are thinking that they can just get somebody to like their page and that's it, they're home and host, it's just simply not the case when it comes to Facebook. There needs to be that interaction.
And that does bring me to my next question. And I mean, do you have on your page, do you have a bot, and is that automated to start interacting with people?
I actually don't. I do it all personally myself. And I know you've spoken to Mike, he's amazing. The bot thing is just, it's great. I just love watching his bots, they're great. And it's something that I may move into. But for myself, obviously, like every business owner, you run as lean as you possibly can. I'm in my 12 months, only just 12 months in. So at this point in time, my likes that are coming through, I can interact with them personally myself. Yep. So I don't have to then have something automated.
And it's and that's great. And here's the beauty of small business. There's not just one right answer.
No.
right? There's so many different ways that we can do things that we don't have to automate it. And you're the systems and process person, and you're doing this manually, which I find a little bit funny. But
I know. But I like I dealt with a couple of bots, and don't get me wrong, Mike's bots are awesome. But when sometimes it felt a little bit robotic. It didn't feel like I was talking
absolutely.
to a person.
And
that's my particular business in particular, it really is a person-to-person business. So I needed to be sure, I guess what works and how the interaction is going to work for me.
I'm not suggesting you do it any other way. I'm just asking questions. So, so, I guess the first question, a nice simple question, like when you go out networking, how can I help, is a lovely first question. So if people are liking your page, please get back to them and just say, how can I help? It's a nice way to introduce yourself and sets the tone of what the relationship's going to be like.
Absolutely. Even just a introduction post to say, hey, thanks so much for liking my business page. I like to interact with my clients who like my page from actually my personal profile. Yep. Because I think people like to interact from a person rather than from a page. They're not really sure who's behind it. And I find I get much more success in people booking sessions with me because of that from Facebook. Yep. But it's interesting because when you look at my Facebook page, you sort of probably you're not really wowed. You sort of look at it and you go, yeah, okay. She's not putting much up there. She's not really doing much. But it's about what I'm doing behind the scenes to actually interact with the clients, not actually what's on the page. So
yeah, absolutely. And that is just so important. Our whole goal on social media really should be to get people off social media.
Yes.
We want a live experience.
We want them
phone calls. Even if your live experience is an exchange on Messenger, I think we've exchanged on Messenger much more than we've chatted.
Yes.
And we kind of got to know each other on Messenger as we were doing things. It's really a bit weird, but that's the easiest way to get hold of me. Is if you send me an email. I do have between 20 and 100 emails unopened at any one point in time. I'd hate you to be any of them. Yeah. But if you send me a messenger, I'm more likely to catch it. And even if it gets filtered out, I'll catch it within a couple of days.
Yeah.
Scenario. It is about interacting with your clients how they want to interact. And that's, as you said, that's a really important thing. And we were talking about how we need to replicate real life more online. Like we don't run around in real life poking people.
No, absolutely not.
Poke anyone. But it'd be funny if we did. Hey.
Look, yeah, and I think this is what we were discussing before as well. But if you were going to go and network somewhere at an event, you wouldn't walk into the room and go, "Hello, I'm here, and my business is this, and this is what I do," and you just wouldn't walk around the room and shout that. No. For an hour,
And particularly then not and leave the room.
Yeah, absolutely. People would avoid you, wouldn't they? If someone walked into the room, I know I would. If someone walked into a room at a networking event and did that, that would be the last person I would be talking to.
You do need to leave the room at that stage. That's the thing. And I liken our community or our group as being a cafe, right? Yep. So it's an online cafe. You can get in there, you can have a chat, we can all help each other out. But I don't take kindly to people walking into my cafe and saying, "Hey, go to that cafe down the road," because I think that's rude.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do that to them.
And we were talking about, going to the cafe and buying a cup of coffee while you're there. Making sure, and whether that's in the form of a monetary handover or whether that's in the form of leaving some information or giving some value while you're there. And I think that's what's really important for people to remember on the digital and online space. And keeping in mind, this is relatively new for a lot of people. All of a sudden, they find themselves thrown into this online world. Doing what you and I are doing today in front of a camera is terrifying some people out there. And they've had to spend the last 2 weeks getting over it, where you and I are quite used to this kind of thing now. So I understand that they don't know how to react, but that's a really good analogy just to think. If you just think of Facebook like your local cafe and treat it the same and act the same as you would if you were in a real networking situation or event, you have much more success and much more interaction with people.
Yep. And while everyone's in the cafe, we make sure that fights aren't breaking out in the back corner.
Yep.
You know, if people are being too aggressive, we calm them down. You know, we actually do a lot behind the scenes that you don't see because we do it. You see,
Yeah.
if someone averts an absolute disaster, most of the community don't even know that that disaster was even averted in the first place.
That's it.
And that's the role that we do play in this. You know, every now and again, we do get onto things a little bit slowly. And I'm going to encourage people, if you think that something's inappropriate in the group, report it to admin and we will get onto it much, much faster. But don't send us an email saying there's this post that somebody did this. Actually click on it and go report to admin. And that way we can find the post. Otherwise, we can't find it.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
In amongst everything else you've got going on.
Yeah. Look, you know, right now, our reactions are almost, our post comments reactions on a pre-COVID-19 time period. We were really proud that we had 30% of the group coming in every day and 76% of the group coming in over a month. You know, last week we had 60% come in on one day. A typical day, though, is about 45%.
Yeah.
And we're well over the 80% coming in throughout the month. As I said, you've had nearly 80% of people see your post.
Yes.
See one post. So everyone that's come in over that time period, and that's the importance of having good quality information in there.
Yeah.
It really is about, and that's why we're doing these educational pieces right now, because we figure if people have a little bit more free time because they're not traveling to and from work, or, you know, some people in their business, they can't do their business because of the restrictions and shutdowns and that sort of stuff. So
Yes.
I want to help people get different ideas on how they could do something better in their business, how they can save money, how they can automate some stuff and help them learn more about business, and providing that opportunity. It's actually been a real catalyst for me. We're going to change the group to doing that forever now, right? So they won't all be lives with me. Everybody's breathing a sigh of relief, I'm sure. We will explore different ways that we can make it a great online experience for everyone. And that's our commitment.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's great. I can see from the chat there's a couple of questions in there. I might just address those and answer those. So what is the greatest tip that you can give businesses to get engagement? Number one is be your authentic self for me, because it's very hard. And especially when you're first new in business, you have an expectation of what you think you should be doing online and on Facebook, and you're trying to copy everybody else, but it's really hard to keep up that facade. So being yourself and coming from a place of being really genuine, like I said to you earlier, when I put that post up, it really was coming from a place of, how can I help? What is gonna, I have so many contacts. I have on my Facebook personal profile. If I go and like a page, are other people going to go and want to support that business as well? How is that? It really came from a place of being genuine. And I think that was the key behind it actually working. I wasn't asking for anything.
That's one thing. You weren't asking for anything. Absolutely. The other part that you did, and here's how to get engagement, encourage people to talk about themselves, right?
Yes.
So in your post, hey, put your business here. And everyone goes, oh, if I put my business there, I might get some business. And so they do that really quickly, right? So, we over time, and we have forgotten. Look, in my fluster of activity at the moment, I've forgotten to be as social as we should be. Yeah. We used to go, hey, describe your business in emojis or whatever else. And we'll go back to playing some of those games soon. If everybody could just give me 2 minutes to have a breath. We've rolled into a new world, and we do want you to be able to talk about yourself without spamming, without running into the cafe saying buy my stuff. Let's have a little bit of fun and explore ways that we can talk about our business without saying hurry up and buy straight away, because very few people are ready to buy right now.
No, exactly. I mean, what do they say? It takes somewhere between 12 and 18 touch points when it comes to the online space for people to actually purchase. I know if that person was to meet you in the local cafe or at the networking event, that would be a lot less. You're talking somewhere between 5 and 8. But on the online space, you need to show the person that you can give value, that you are genuine, that, there's a number of steps that you have to take before someone will do business with you.
Yeah, that's Google's zero moment of truth. The answer to the world is 14.
There you
Apparently, that's what Google says, and I actually reckon that they've probably got the stats to know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, of course they do.
so that's what they're watching. Their research and look, that is a few years old right now, so it may have even blown out. I can't tell you exactly when that study was done, but it was this side of 2010. So it was this side of the GFC, but
Yes.
but I can't tell you exactly when that study was. If anybody in the feed knows when that study was, feel free to help us out. We did talk about this online cafe concept, and we were talking about, here's the reason that we have the directory, so that we can keep our conversations within this community
Yes.
informative and educational, everything else. And the directory is there to advertise your business. And the two are meant to work hand in hand. And I guess I feel I've got that message across badly so far, or haven't got that across well, probably a better way of putting it. And that's what we're trying to do. If we treated everyone in this community as an economy, right?
Yes.
We know from the statistics of the Queensland government and the Australian government that the money that would be flying around in this economy is in excess of $2.5 billion now.
Yes.
Okay. If all we did was work together, we wouldn't even notice there was this whole virus thing going around. Right? But because everybody wants to fight over scraps and divide us, that's what's stopping us all flourishing more. So, the reason we set the directory up was because when somebody says, hey, I want a plumber, they get hit with 50 plumbers.
Yes.
And the first thing that happens then is they go, how am I going to assess 50 plumbers? And they get into overwhelm. So they just go and ask their mate rather than using the information that was fed to them. The directory's there so that you can go and you can shop at your own leisure without everyone saying, come on, hurry up and buy now, because they don't know that you've been looking yet.
So for me, the Brisbane Small Business Directory is where I go to find business. If I need something, that's where I go. That's what it's about. It gives me a clearer understanding that the person is local, obviously, that they service the Brisbane area, where Google doesn't always give that, depending on if I go to the paid ads or whatever's happening there. So, and that people in that directory are supporting other businesses as well. So, 1,300 comments on a post in your page. Why are there not 1,300 members in that Brisbane Small Business? Everybody should be on this for the price that it is.
Yeah. Using our C19 codes, basically it's half price for the top two levels and only $12 for the entire year at the base level. And for that, it's just a capital C19. And for the B scene package, if you put a B after it, a capital B after it, it comes down to $12. It's just a fixed price. So I feel it's priced ridiculously to help each other do that. If we all started searching for stuff in that directory as well, then Google's going to, look, we're already ranked #1 for the non-advertised sites on Google, but then all the individual areas would also be ranking really highly as well. So, this is why I'm encouraging us to do that, to make it easier for us all to work together. And we do, we're auditing the reviews that go into the system. So, both good and bad, right? We want to know if someone's giving someone a 5-star review that they've actually had a transaction there. They're not just in the same networking club.
Yeah.
Okay. Networking clubs are great. They've got their purpose, absolutely. But if I'm going online and I want to find something, I want to create a place that people can trust the process that's there. So, and in the build trust and the showcase, reviews, we accept reviews into those areas. So people are putting themselves out there and being happy to get reviewed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really smart. It's a really smart idea to have that level of trust behind the brand as well, because you want to know that those reviews are coming through, they are authentic. And that gives me a level of confidence when I'm dealing with businesses on the directory as well.
Yeah. So look, Kerrie, have you got one last piece of advice for people?
Look, as I said, it's all in the being authentic and being you, and coming from a place of wanting to cure fears, uncertainties, doubts, or your clients' problems. But if you're going to ask for likes, or you're going to get people liking your page, just try and have a little bit of interaction with them, just something, even if it's just a thank you. That will get you a lot further than not doing anything.
Absolutely. Now, Kerrie, you run an online digital marketing course, a program.
Yes.
And right now, we've had discussion about this, and I think you should charge the price of a cup of coffee. You've said, I don't want to right now, Kevin. Stop being greedy.
Yeah.
So it's run for free. When's the next one?
So it's actually online. They can go and start any time. So it's all an online module. It's all recorded videos. So obviously they'll hear from me because I'll want to touch base to find out how they're going and whether it's successful. But it's released as 10 modules, and one module is released a day so that there's not overwhelm. And it goes from, you know, beginners all the way to advanced when it comes to digital marketing, and making sure that people understand the difference between digital marketing and traditional marketing is the first step in that, and knowing why it's important that they introduce digital marketing. I think in the last 2 weeks particularly, businesses who are now forced into this online space are confused about what it is, how they do it, and where it's going to work. So this will help them out or give them some knowledge.
Cool. I'm going to show you a way to put that on the directory so that it comes up as an event. We're going to have a chat about that.
Excellent.
And so that, you know, you can just run it as a weekly event, you know, go here and people click the link and then they just go straight through. But we'll talk about that one at a later date.
Sure.
In the meantime, you'll put the link for that down in the comment feed below.
I'll put the link down below in the comments, yes.
One day I'll understand where the camera is and that it's all back to front, but I keep forgetting that at the moment. So look, Kerrie, this has been a much longer show than normal. But only because you've been giving us such great information as we've been going through. So I want to thank you very much. Everyone that, you know, that commented on Altitude's, on Kerrie's post, think about giving her a like too, because she does run an awesome business. She is passionate about helping small business owners. You know, that's why she's doing the Chamber of Commerce. That's why she's involved in the ASBAS stuff. You don't make a lot of money in this ASBAS stuff, I can promise you. So please support Kerrie in that and have a think about doing her digital marketing course. And we'll catch you a little bit later on.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
Now we've just got to have that time for us to